Hi, hello, beautiful people. Welcome to my channel. My name is Jer. The other day, I did a video talking about my drag experience coming up through the nightclub and what the whole process was like, and it got me feeling really nostalgic. So I thought I would invite you all onto this nostalgia journey with me as we look back at some of my old drag looks, at a lot of cringe. I can guarantee that there are a lot of flops here. It's gonna be bad. For a lot of you who have been following for a really long time, you probably saw a lot of my old drag journey, a lot of the videos that I was posting at the time and me getting ready and like feeling so confident about how I looked. And I still stand by a lot of those looks. It was what I had available, and we're gonna jump into it, and we're not gonna judge very hard. You can't, I can. I went through 3 different drag names over my career. The first one was Maria Valle, second one was Yvonne Culo, and the third one was Lavender Organza, and I'll explain where I was in each one of them. But let's jump into this. I'm so nervous. I'm going to be upset. I already know. We're already in rough seas. I think this boat is capsizing. Yeah, okay, so this is Halloween 2015 or 16, I don't remember. My friend Jeff was hosting a Halloween party, and I was so insistent upon going in drag, and I wanted to go as my favorite J idol. I tried to recreate it as best as I could, and I have always been a drag queen of very little means. So I took a gray tank top that I already owned, that I still have. I still have that in my closet. Not even a cami, that is straight up just a tank top that I already owned. I found this like plastic jacket at the Goodwill, and then those are just some plain old shorts. Girl, not a pad in sight. Flat boots, flats. The hat, I think, was some foamy thing that I found at the dollar store. And then I don't know why I made her Sally from Nightmare Before Christmas, but for some reason I decided I was going to be Halloween-y. I also shaved my legs. I was feeling real cunt for this. I know I was feeling it. And then I think the jacket, I actually spray painted with silver. I think the shorts I did too. They did not come in those colors. I spray painted those with fabric paint, and then I glued all these stars all over it. It was, that was an experience. Man, I went to that party looking like that with full confidence, using my natural eyebrows that I had plucked to filth. Not a stitch of makeup was on that face. Everybody's a Halloween queen, you know? If you don't start on Halloween, when was your drag journey going to start? We got look number 2. Oh my god. Okay, so we stepped it up just slightly. The bandana, I think I got from Joann's, and I made that into like a bow because I really was trying to go for like a bow thing. My arms look great here. Look at the shoulder definition. Do my arms still do that? I don't think my arms still do that. No, that definition that's right here, bitch, I look good. I look really good. Like my body. I was snatched. Okay, so I'm wearing a cami that I got from Forever. And then the overalls, I think I got from Target. They're just like some plain white overalls I did nothing to. I did a Bon Qui Qui remix. So I did the Bon Qui Qui King Burger mixed with I'ma Cut You. And it was for Jasmine Masters' show that she was hosting at this club called Velvet, which is no longer around anymore because they apparently food poisoned too many people. It was my very first gig, and I was not allowed to reach out and collect tips. They have to throw them at you. Because in the city that Velvet was located in, it was considered prostitution if you took money from people's hands. White overalls. Oh man. Okay, I just wanted to show this because I need proof that it was at Jasmine's show, and I just want it to be known. Jasmine is not wearing like the most expensive garment that has ever existed, but she is serving and she looks so good. Right next to me, who looks like a troll from underneath a bridge, came up in overalls. I think it's those same flat boots. I think I had like 3 pairs of drag shoes, and they were those black boots. I had 1 pair of just black heels, which I don't know why I didn't wear with that. And then I think I had 1 pair of silver pumps that I could not walk in at all. Okay, so we're a little bit later down the road. I remember this was at a club in Riverside that was called, was this VIP? I wanted to go out in bows, so I made a lot of tulle bows at the time. And this was a just plain black lace dress that I still have in my closet, I think. And I got this from, ooh, is this Forever as well? I think I was shopping at Forever for kind of everything. Corset I got on Amazon, and then I created this tulle skirt just to fluff it up. And I mean, it was just like a mound of fabric in the shape of a skirt. It barely stayed on. I remember it fell during one performance and I had to put more elastic in it. Man, I mean, okay, my makeup was really developing at this point. I can really see, even though the photos washed out, I can see that I tried to cut my crease. I was doing the really severe wing. I was very inspired by Trixie Mattel at the time. And I was doing a lot of like Trixie-esque things, but trying to make it myself. Because at this time, Trixie's makeup was everywhere. Like everyone was doing Trixie and Kim in any club that you would go to. That's all you would see. And so I was trying to like pull references from that. This purple wig got destroyed. I don't know what I did with this wig, but it's long gone. I look fierce. No nails. I was very avid about no nails. I'm like, women don't need to wear nails. And I'm not trying to look like a woman, but I mean, the body looks right. I don't think I was padded though. Okay, so next up, okay, bitch, this is a good look. I don't want to hear anything that any of y'all say. This looks good. Okay, this hair was, I think, the same wig that you just saw. And the bow I made, again, more tulle. This is a corset that I got from some mall that was going out of business, or maybe I got it on Amazon, I can't remember. Some Claire's gloves, a whole bunch of Claire's jewelry and accessories, and then I glued on flowers for some reason that I got from Michael's. What my favorite part was the makeup. I was trying to do this face all the time and I could never replicate it with the really big lined lips that looked very chola, and then the huge wing eyeliner with all the color and everything. This was such an innocent era for me. I remember I came home after work and I was just putting on makeup every single day just to practice my face. And I remember I landed on this look and I remember looking at it in the mirror and just thinking, I got it. I can go on Drag Race now. I distinctly was so delusional. I fully thought like, no breast, just some really good boob contour, pearls, adhesive, flowers, and a dream. I'm gonna make it to top 3 of Drag Race. I was serving. Y'all can't tell me nothing about this. Okay, so we were just talking about how inspired I was by Trixie. Year 2 of DragCon, I went in that same black dress that we already saw earlier because I was like, this is a standard. This is a good dress. And then the chunky gold necklace, I don't know why I paired it with this bow. I think because I was doing blue makeup and there was another look that was planned, and I think I ended up hating it last second, but I kept the bow because I needed volume and I didn't do anything to this wig, which, I mean, this is the cheapest little Arta wig that I could have possibly gotten. But I mean, the makeup looks great. I really do look very nice makeup-wise. I look like first time in drag queen though. Like there's nothing that says glamorous DragCon about this, but I think I looked really cute. And I love how big my lower lip was. At this time I was really going big lower lip, small upper lip, and that was a mistake. Woof to this club. Woof to 340. Okay, so I had really awful experience at 340. Those people don't tip for nothing. I don't know if it's changed, but they don't tip. This dress I got from Ross. It was from the like quinceañera prom section, and I just rouged the hell out of it. The goal was I was trying to recreate a graduation outfit from Nigaki Brisa, that girl that I showed earlier, my favorite J idol. She had this outfit that she did during one of her performances that was this purple, like elegant princess type gown, and I was trying to create something like that. So I took the purple tulle that you can kind of see on the shoulder here, and I had attached that all, but I couldn't quite sew through the sequins because at the time I just had this cheap Singer machine that my sister let me borrow, and it was like on its way out. It was a horrible machine. And then I hand stitched a lot of the rest of it to try and zhuzh it up. This was such a good performance. I remember I went out and I just had a good time, but I don't remember what the number was. I look fierce here. Again, I don't think there was a single bit of padding here. Oh, rest in peace. This is another great look, makeup wise. Let's not talk about the dress. So the whole inspiration was Mrs. Potato Head, and I had this whole look planned for this number. I got this dress from Target, I think. It was at the clearance section. No rhinestones to be seen, but cute belt though. I don't know if I have that belt anymore. I got that from Ross, I think. Pearl necklace, cute earrings, great look. The mug, Mama, the mug is right. That really intense white. I would look at that and think that was Trixie Mattel on the stage. You could really see the Trixie inspo that I was going for, but just nothing else was there. I do believe I was wearing padding at this point. Okay, so I do have a funny story about this look. Okay, so I got there and the DJ was super disorganized, and I gave them my music and I said, it's on this track, okay? It's number 8 or whatever. And it was on a CD. I gave them a CD with the number 8 on a post-it saying, do this one. And then I wrote down on the sign-in sheet that it was number 8. The way that 340 works, you should look up videos of the club. There's this big staircase and it's like a death trap going down those stairs. It's horrible. I've never felt more fear in my life than thinking about walking down those stairs. And if I'm not mistaken, DWV tripped down those stairs during one number. So anyway, I'm at the top. My number starts going off and it's my telephone mix that I had. And it starts out with ABBA's Ring Ring. And then it goes into Call Me Maybe. I think it does Adele's Hello. My look was something Melanie Martinez. I don't remember what it was, but I was doing a Melanie Martinez song, which is why the look was sort of Mrs. Potato Head, because I think it was supposed to evoke a little more of like a childish feel. I could be mistaken on whatever it was, but they played my telephone mix instead, which was track 1, not track 8. So I just sort of had to improvise, which is why I'm doing this, because I didn't have my phone with me that I normally brought while doing this number. I remember I was so mad. I was pissed. I finished and I went up and I was like, that was bullshit. That was sabotage. But I looked good. Ooh, bitch. Yes, okay. Miss Yvonne was serving. So I got this cheap velvet fabric that you can kind of see on the bodysuit from Joann's, but I didn't have enough to make a full bathing suit. So you can kind of see I have neon women's underwear underneath as like the bottom part. And it's fully like a women's brief with the elastic strap and everything. And then I took the red and white tulle and created this big tuft of a dress. I was kind of inspired by Utada Hikaru during the United tour, mixed with like a circus tent is what I really wanted to go for, but I didn't have enough fabric. I was so poor, and I still am. I was so poor, I literally could not afford more tulle. And tulle at the time was only like 70 cents. It was cheap to get tulle. And I had a coupon. I think I spent like 15 bucks on this entire look. But the tuft of tulle that's billowing off, it actually looks really interesting visually. And then I took all these fluff balls that you can kind of see the little pom-poms, and I created a bracelet. I put it on the waistline. I put it on a big headpiece that I made. And then those shoes, everyone wanted those shoes. I remember Kendra Onyx being like, don't take those shoes off in front of me because I'm going to snatch them from you. And it was like, don't you worry, mama. I will have someone watching my shoes. This was such a fun look. I don't love the makeup. It's too subtle. And I don't like how small everything is. But I just love the silhouette that I created here, despite it being very low budget. Oh no. Oh, this hairline is problematic. You could not tell me that I was not a woman. I fully in my brain was like, I am a lady. The eye makeup is so subtle. There's nothing in the eye, but I love the wing a lot, and I really enjoy the eyebrows. You can kind of see that I feathered them just a bit. This wig I got from some wig store. I don't remember where it was. The headpiece was a floral thing that I found from Joann's that I already had all the rhinestones on it and everything. The dress that's underneath, the gray one, it's a silver dress that I got from Ross, I think. And then the actual dress itself, you can't see the whole thing, so I couldn't find a photo of it, but the whole thing was supposed to be like flamenco-esque. It was another rip off a Morning Musume costume, and it was from the Single Daisen concert. They did this flamenco-inspired dress with the number they were doing, and it was kind of this color with more intricate detail on it, and I didn't really have the skills to do that, or really the time, so I just kind of took individual little, like those little cheap hexagonal sequins with the hole in the middle, and I took a lot of those and just glued it all over the dress, and it had Velcro and snaps so that it connected on the side here, and then during the number I could rip it off and then reveal into an ugly mini dress that I got from Ross. This was such a good number. I made the finals, a competition that I was working really hard in, and I was like every week trying to really get everybody to know who I was and really have a solid perspective on who I was as a queen. And I went out and I did my best. I don't remember what the number was, but I know it was a mix of some kind. I had a lot of fun, and I didn't make it. I got cut, but you could not tell me at the time that I did not look good. This next look is an emotional one for me. This was when we had just moved into our apartment that we were moving into. We moved from our 2-bedroom to our studio, and I was so sick. We had just gotten the keys maybe 2 days before, and I was just moving stuff over very slowly. Pretty much had only gotten my makeup and a lot of my drag stuff over, and I had a photo shoot with a coworker who really wanted to get me in drag, but I was so sick. I was in the shower and my nose was just like dripping, and I was sneezing and coughing, and I could not get it under control. And during the photo shoot, I had tissues there that I was just kind of dabbing the insides of my nose, trying not to ruin my makeup. And you can see actually all down here that a lot of my contour is gone because it was just smudged off. But the contouring here and how low my chin is, you can see this really severe contouring I did on my chin to actually give me one. I looked womana. That was the exact same wig as the previous one. And during the photo shoot, we were like, what if I pretended that this was a phone? And so I answered it, and it was really fun. The dress I got, this was a size 8 dress that I got from the Goodwill, and I wear a 16, but I needed to own this dress. So I basically undid the paneling and I sewed in this giant white strip on the sides that went all the way down so I could get into it, so I could adjust the bodice. I cannot fit in this dress anymore. I'm already too big for this, but I needed to have this dress. I love the jaw here, and I love the lips, and I wish that I could have gotten that everywhere. This was my Snuffleupagus eyelash phase. They were huge, mama. I'm so, this makes me nostalgic. Okay, so I have this beautiful, cunty little red bob wig that was so Coco Peru. This was one of my very first dresses that I made completely from scratch. I still have this. So it's a zip up partially. It doesn't zip all the way to the neck because I didn't know how to install full zippers yet. And it was such a basic pattern that I used. But I'm very into like shoulder cutouts. That's so Latina. And a lot of my aunts have a lot of dresses that have shoulder cutouts. So I think I was inspired by them. And then the sleeve, this problem pattern, which I loved. It was, I think this was a tablecloth pattern. And then a box pleat skirt that I found belts for at the Goodwill for like $5. This part here, this hardware, was a chain that I got from Michael's that I installed into it as well. And that was like sewn in, hand stitched. This night was a competition I was doing at Hamburger Mary's. This was like at my sort of rise. I was really starting to soar here. I miss them so much. I miss performing. There's one girl who I recognize, who I see on Grindr all the time. Okay, bitch. This red Forever Freaking 21 sequin gown that I bought at some Christmas sale. I was doing a Britney Spears number for a number that I was roped into doing. I had to do it. and I did It May Seem Like a Crush, and I held up the crushed soda in the middle of my number. And I remember Jake eye rolled so hard and fiercely at me. When I conceptualized doing this number, it was like as this geeky fangirl who loved Britney Spears, because it was a choreography number and I don't dance. And I had to learn that part, all that, and I couldn't get it down. I could not remember it for the life of me. And there were like 4 other steps afterwards that I could not remember. So I thought, okay, well, I can't dance, and I know that my strength is comedy. So what if I go out and I play this like 12-year-old girl who's obsessed with Britney Spears? So I took a t-shirt, I added tulle to it, and it said Britney's #1 fan, and that had Velcro on it, so that all I had to do was rip it off, and then it turned into this. And I'd be like, Britney, underneath, like a fake Britney. And so I was like, you know what I really want to do is during the It May Seem Like a Crush, I hold up a crushed soda. And Jake was like, that doesn't make any sense. Why would you have a soda? The song isn't about soda. And I'm like, because it's funny. It's comedy. It's camp. Let me do it. So he went and fished out a crushed soda for me at like the 7-Eleven minutes before we left the apartment. And the judges did not like this at all. They read me fiercely for not knowing the choreography. And you know what? I stand by it. I was working full time. I was doing like 8+ hours. I had no time to practice. They gave us a challenge on a Monday and I had to do it by the following 2 Mondays. So I had 2 weeks to learn it. But when you work full time and you're also trying to do drag and dancing doesn't come naturally to you, you could watch those steps 100 times and you'll never get it. If I had someone physically teaching me, maybe I could have gotten it, but nah fam, it wasn't it. My very first win. I love this look. I did a Lucy number. I did Vitamita Vegemin, the whole thing from top to bottom. This was for Hamburger Mary's. It was a competition I was doing, and it was celebrity impersonation. I bought this wig at some local wig shop that I found, styled it myself into the Lucy style. Found the dress on Amazon like for 30 bucks or something. I should have rhinestoned it, like in hindsight. Pearl necklace I had gotten from Party City. And then I actually painted my nails. I never did nails. I never, ever did nails. But this was my first win and I was sick. Oh, was I sick. This was one of those, I almost didn't go. I almost dropped out of the competition because I was dying. I remember like laying down in the car and just like floating out of my body and being like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I don't remember any of the words. And I listened to Vitamita Vegemin so many times and I knew the words, but my brain was so cloudy I couldn't remember it. So I got up there and I did the whole number. I'd forgotten a bunch of the words. So I kept like trying to do stuff to pretend that I knew what I was doing. And I was just like really hamming up all my movements and just pretending really hard that I knew what was going on. And I think because I was so sick and ill, it played up the fact that in Vitamita Vegemin, Lucy gets sandblasted drunk in that skit. So it worked because I was actually so drugged up on cough medicine that by the time I got into the I was legitimately like falling asleep while doing my number. So it just worked well. And I ended up winning that night. I was so shocked. I was ready to lip sync. I was fully ready to lip sync for my life because they did it sort of drag race style. You do your number. At the end of it, there's a lip sync between the bottom 2 and then one person goes home. I was ready. I didn't have to lip sync. I won. I was shocked. I didn't win anything. Like besides just knowing that I won, and I wish I had gotten money. That same dress. We're getting a lot of use out of this black lace dress. So the competition that I was in, the number that I had to do was Walking on Sunshine. It was assigned to me. So I thought what fun it would be to go out as a goth girl who can't be in the sun. So I had a black umbrella, or maybe it was a purple one. And then I sort of it was purple because I did the pop of purple for the bow. And then I also had a little bow tie that I bought literally from Party City to add to this. And then some like just glitter earrings that I found from some mall store. And I'm super padded. The silhouette is beautiful. The makeup is probably one of my favorite makeups that I've done. The really dark lip, super pale skin with this really chiseled out face. And the hair, I was actually trying really hard to get volume. And I was kind of figuring out wigs, but it was tough to get this volume. This was one of my favorite looks ever. Then we go back to Hamburger Mary's. So I was in a competition. Again, there were a lot of competitions I was doing. And I had a relative pass and I just couldn't do it. So I dropped out of the competition. But I asked if I could still do the finale And that finale was weeks, months probably after my family member passed. So I was in a lot better of a place. And I got this dress from some prom store at the mall, and it was just a white sequin dress, and then I hid it with dye. And I just let it drip down so it was sort of rainbowy. I might even still own it. I can't remember. It was very pretty. And I did Secret Love Song Part 2. It was a great number. I did it sort of serious with a bunch of images on the screen of people rioting against gay people, and with black and white photos of queer couples from all across history. Like, I found old photos of queer people. I was sort of talking about how hard it is to be queer and be closeted, and all these people are against you, but there's always hope. And so then at the very end of the number, after it gets to like the big bridge part, it shows all these people protesting for gay rights and protesting positively for gay people. And it was a beautiful message. And I remember I just like park and barked. I just stood there and I emoted, and I was really just feeling it. I didn't even really move around the club. And afterwards, I had people come up to me just with wads of cash to give it to me. And they said, your number made me cry harder than I've ever cried at a drag show before. And that really touched me. It was very important because I was trying to just give a message. I was not expecting to get tipped that night. I just went in with the idea, I'm gonna do something that no one's seen at this club before. And I did that. And I'm really happy with the makeup. I think I was really experimenting with going softer and not as severe. And this dress, even though I didn't make it, my body looks right. I was finally corseted properly. I had really great hip pads. I had really great breast pads. And I looked it. This was one of the peak looks, I think, for me. Another dress that I made, I look like Ra's dress for less here. I was experimenting with my face still. And I was really changing up my makeup. This hair, I want to say I finally learned how to tease drag queen hair, but I don't think I did. I think this does not look as good as it could. This was a long wig that I tried to just poof up as much as I can. But the whole dress I made myself out of organza and pressed sequin. And to this day, I hate pressed sequin because of how horrible this dress was to make and the horrible experience I had. I lined it with this ribbon. I individually stoned it for hours. This was a labor of love, and I'm still obsessed with this cute little scoochy dress that I made. It's so tight now I physically can't get into it, but it was a front zip, which I was very obsessed with at the time. This is a good look. Another dress that I made myself, we're in fully self-efficient, no Goodwill era. My brother actually helped me with the bodice part. They helped me with creating the breast line because they had the right pattern for it. Everything else I did myself. We did all these panels so that basically it would roll up to hide underneath. So the panels all fell out. This was a Reba inspired number. This was Fancy. And I had another outfit that was over it that I had put Velcro and snaps on so that I could rip it off at one point. Here's your one chance, Fancy, don't let me down. And the dress comes down. This is a good number. I also won this night. This was right before the pandemic. Right before the pandemic and lockdown. And I won, and I never got my $50 for winning. Then this was literally the week before lockdown. I remember being like, oh, coronavirus. Everybody's talking about it. Are we gonna be okay going to the club? But I did it anyway. I made this dress. It was inspired by another Moni Musume look, Ikubo Haruna's graduation outfit. I made the whole thing myself. It was a princess seam top that I made, and then I did the sleeves myself, and I just fitted them the way that I could. Created a box pleat skirt that wasn't as full as I wanted it to. It wasn't as full as I wanted it to be, but it still looked nice. And then I created the pants off just sheer force of will and trying to figure out how to make pants, but I did not have a pattern for these, and they fit immaculately. The whole thing I constructed, there's even a cape that's at the back that I worked really hard on. I even sewed on this applique, hand stitched it all on, and then individually glued it so it would stay. The theme was dripping in jewels. I do not remember the number that I did, but the idea was that it was all dripping off, and the hat was really architectural that I made out of a seat cushion, and that's all dripping too in rhinestones and jewels. You might be able to see them. When I went out, there was this dude in front of me, and I had a staff, and he would not move, and I tried tapping him, And I was like, excuse me, and he wouldn't move. So finally I was just like, well, gonna move you. So I like pushed my staff in front of him and literally physically pushed him because he would not get out of my way. And finally he moved, but he gave me the dirtiest stink eye. But he should have moved. Stitched. You can see that it's kind of puckered in some places because it just is an unforgiving fabric. But I spent every drop of my paycheck to do that. Damn, drag is such a labor of love. I forgot. Then we got pandemic drag. This was a couple weeks into lockdown, and I did a Miss Baltimore Crabs inspired look. I was going for Debbie Harry in the original Hairspray. So I took one of those wigs that I had in my closet, and I finally sat down and taught myself how to tease a wig because I had nothing else to do. Busted out that old dress, put on some jewelry that I already owned, and just made it work. And I think I did a little live stream and a video that you might be able to still find here on YouTube. Can't remember. But I really love the eyebrows. I love the eye makeup. I love the lips. The contouring is great. This was kind of right in the era where I was putting a lot of sparkly stuff on my cheeks. This makes me really nostalgic for those days of getting to sit around and not having to do anything and just really getting to invest in my passions. And this is where I realized how much I loved drag and how much drag was changing who I was as a person. This was a really pivotal moment for me just as a human being. And the hair, that may be a hard front, but that looks like a good hard front to me. Then we have my final look. Oh my God, this was my pink hair era. This was not too long ago. This was less than a year ago. So with that same beautiful dress that I made, you get a little more of those details of what I already did to it. I was trying to figure out how to do makeup with my mustache. I really like the eye makeup. I like the wing. I love the mustache. I love the lips. The hair is so cute the way that I styled it. It's just my own hair. I really think I found a nice place of blending both energies that I already have, which I'm so comfortable with my masculine and feminine energy now and my gender fluidity. I was really trying to figure out how to meld those into one beautiful concept. And I think this looks good. I look great. I look great. I should do drag more often. If I wasn't worried about how low budget all my clothes were, I would do drag much more frequently. Thank you so much for coming down memory lane with me. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did not like any of my looks, please keep your mouth shut. I was really feeling it. I think I looked great in a lot of those. Even though some of them were clearly low budget, I could see a lot of growth in myself as a person, as a queen, in my makeup, in my hair. From that first day going out in Halloween to where I ended up a couple of months ago, I'm really happy with that progress. And I'm so glad that drag was something that I could lean on to figure out my gender identity. When I first started, I thought drag was just this weird thing that dudes did to just cross-dress. I grew up in a small conservative town that I had no idea what it actually was. And being able to discover it and have it open up something and unlock something in me, this feminine energy that was already there, that I was just so not attuned to, that was really important for me as a person. And I'm really glad that I explored it and that I didn't allow my fear to stop me from exploring drag. It shaped who I am now. Lavender is literally who I am. And by the time that I got to her, I was comfortable with Jer, and that was important. For me as a queer person, recognizing that and unlocking that queerness through drag was so impactful. I'm glad I didn't shy away from exploring that. Thank you for exploring this trip down memory lane. Check out some of my other drag content if you'd like to, and hopefully see you on the flip. Hey, thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, make sure to click that like button. And if you want to see more, hit subscribe. Goodbye.